We're back with you. Thanks for joining us. I'm Marlin Bohling, your tour guide to the ag commodities, who, well, I'm actually joined by another assistant tour guide, actually the lead tour guide this hour, Chris Swift. He's with us right now. How you doing?
Doing great. How are you this morning?
Not too bad. Hope you had a good weekend.
Yes, I did indeed.
Market's open lower on grains. Let's take a look here, and I want to get your take on this.
Interesting start.
All right, let's go to the grains. Corn, well, it is coming off of its earlier lows. It is lower, but not by nearly as much. We have July corn now only fractionally lower. We're down by 3/4 at 4.15 even per bushel, and December down 3/4 at 4.33. So it got as low as 4.09, Chris, on that July contract, but that gap lurks at 4.04 3/4. They still didn't get to it today. I don't know if they'll make another run or not. Let's look at soybeans. On soybeans, we have the July 3.5 higher. Who saw that one coming? 8.59 3/4. That's 11.5 cents now off our earlier low this morning. And now November is up 3 3/4 at 8.86 3/4. Okay, on the wheat in Chicago, we have July now trading 3.5 lower at 5.01, but that's almost 8 cents off its earlier low this morning. Kansas City wheat on that July contract is now trading only a penny lower at 4.48, and that is roughly about 9 cents off its earlier low. How about Minneapolis spring wheat trade? Well, currently we have July down 2.5 at 5.66 1/4, about 4 cents or 3.5 cents off its earlier low this morning. So a bit of a bounce here, about a half an hour into the trade. What do you think?
Well, it's kind of interesting. It's almost like a race, and we know that September is the end of the race there, and we got a really big jump start on the race here for the first month without the planting going in, and now you'll see more and more crop going to ground. We had some good weather that came about in the northeastern part of the Midwest this past week, so you'll get more crop in the ground. It just depends on whether or not that crop will be able to mature and produce any kind of yield from what we're used to for average.
Got a question for you.
Right.
What do you think will have more impact, planting progress or condition today?
That's an interesting part. I think the planting progress will, because if you don't have the crop in the ground, it doesn't matter what condition it's in. So you got to have it in the ground. So I think getting it in the ground is going to be much more important. Everything in the south seems to be really good. We had real good rain showers this weekend, so the southern corn looks really good. I think anywhere that is not part of that drowned out area that can't get planted will have a pretty good crop.
That little bounce that we just saw in the soybeans here, we didn't have any overnight sales,
No.
and everybody's kind of bearish on everything. Do you think that there's a thought that we'll get more corn planted, fewer soybeans now, or what?
That's kind of tough to say. I really don't know. I don't think that there will be a great deal of swapping one for the other. But there is also going to be all kinds of weather issues with the soybeans still coming. Tim was saying got more weather coming out there, so that'll hamper any kind of soybean planting. But more than likely than not, it's just going into the doldrums of summer and trying to get the rest of this crop out.
One of those years where we won't know what we had until probably after January next year.
It could
when
be.
we get that final USDA number. All right, we'll come back in a moment and we'll take a look at our livestock trade as well with Chris Swift. Let us resume our conversation that we have with Chris Swift of Swift Trading Incorporated here in Nashville. He joins us on set. All right, let's take a look at what's going on in our livestock trade. Live cattle futures coming up. Look at this, Chris. We have June futures up $1.48. August up $1.40 now at 104.70. That's about how much we were down on Friday, I believe. Feeder cattle trade, as we roll over there, we have the August contract up $1.53 now at 138.78, really firming up after the open. September now up $1.43 at 138.78, and in fact we're over $1 higher across the board there. On the lean hog market, this is the one that, remember, we were $3 lower on July and August on Friday. Well, we're bouncing back today. We have July now trading $1.40 higher at 84.75. Remember, expanded limits are possible today. August up 75 cents now at 83.38. A bouncy market today. A bouncy market. Everything with a firmer tone here so far on livestock.
Right. And looks
How
good.
do you read that?
Well, last week we had some issues with the tariffs of Mexico, and pork specifically was part of those tariffs. So I can see we're a little bit of relief from the tariff issue, gave pork a boost from that. The beef market, from everything I read this weekend, kind of looks the same. We're still slowing production. We're putting fewer animals into the feed yards. We have a lot of captive supplies outside the feed yards. So it's still a pretty big grind for the meat markets right now.
I heard somebody mention last week that the pastures were in such good condition that they didn't see the need to pull them out of pastures and put them in feedlots.
Oh, well, then there is none. Right now, every gain that can be gained outside of a feed yard, the feed yard wants that because it costs them less to be able to do that. So when they come into the feed yard, they have a less feeding time frame, and now that corn's a little bit higher, they have to feed less corn to them. So.
And the weights were down, right?
Weights were down. They sure were, yeah.
Now, is that normal this time of year?
It's right at the tail end of it. This is the tail end of the end of the season where we begin to start to pick up gains now, and we'll keep that for probably another 2 or 3 weeks. So.
How about the hog side?
On the weight gains?
Yeah.
Or I don't know. I hadn't looked at that any.
Yeah, okay. So the demand, we're talking about the demand, with the weather the way it has been, it's still staying really cold, I understand, in the upper Midwest.
It is.
And in the Northeast, that has to kind of cut into barbecue season a little bit.
It does. The Restaurant Performance Index was down 1.2% last week. That's not a very good sign. That's patronage week after week coming in. That's slowing down just a little bit. And it has been some pretty miserable. It rained here all weekend, so we didn't get a chance to do much of anything outside this weekend. So, yeah, it just hadn't been a real good weather-wise to get out and enjoy some grilling.
All right. Well, Chris, thanks for coming in.
Absolutely.
Always
Always,
look forward
Marlin.
to it every
Thank
week.
You, sir.
So
Appreciate
thanks
that.
for coming back.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
it. Didn't scare you away this week. Chris Swift of Swift Trading Incorporated right here in Nashville. There you go, John.
All righty. Gentlemen, appreciate it. Chris, always good to see you.
Absolutely, John. You
Thank
do
you.
well.